Okay, David, you on?
Hey, how's it going?
David, hey, it's Anthony Del Medico, Storm Ventures Group. I'm actually doing your virtual training demo today. My staff is a little busy, so I'm going to take you on a tour and show you how the virtual training works and all that good stuff, okay?
Awesome. Let's do it.
Yeah, real quick, how familiar are you with SVG or virtual training, or have you ever been to the Win a Storm conference or anything like that?
Yeah. Well, I heard of SVG because I joined the Facebook page. I just got accepted onto your private Facebook page, so I've just been seeing everyone post there. I've been talking to a few people there. What's this Win the Storm conference?
Yeah, that's actually, we do that every year. A lot of our SVGU clients come. This winter, we do it in the winter on purpose, so it's right before, storm season starts in March, April.
Okay.
April in most cases, but in some places March. But February 21st to the 23rd is this winter. We have a lot of keynote speakers, full trade show floor, all the industry suppliers, manufacturers come, GAF, Beacon, ABC. Really fun experience, 2.5 days. We got a lot of great main stage speakers. Last year we had Gary Vaynerchuk as a motivational speaker. The year before that, Les Brown. The year before that, Grant Cardone. And then we have a lot of industry specific speakers, CEO panels, public adjuster panels. So we have a lot of great stuff on main stage, but then on top of that, we have 75 individual breakout sessions. Literally three breakout sessions running concurrently all day long from 7 a.m. to almost 7 p.m. So you and your team can actually pick what you want to go learn. You want to learn about Slate. You want to learn how to estimate and supplement. You want to learn how to knock doors better. You want to learn how to be a $1 million producer. You want to learn how to run production. All the different industry-specific tasks and activities and learning options are there in the breakout sessions. So those are optional events. So it's a great time.
Awesome.
The reason I'm just showing you this, most people have heard about it. You're one of the few people I haven't heard about it. I'm showing you this because if you, after we demo today, if you decide to enroll in SVGU, which I'm sure you will, we're gonna throw in a free ticket to Win the Storm.
Awesome.
Free ticket to Win the Storm conference.
Great.
And
that's definitely something I'm interested in.
yeah, it's just a good time, and it's 2 days of training, and we call it 2 days of training, 1 day of fun. Saturdays, we always do it on Thursday and Friday. Saturday is a great day for camaraderie, team events. You go shoot 50 cals in the desert. They have a whole gun range there right on a strip. You go drive Ferraris around a racetrack, fly helicopters to the bottom of the Grand Canyon. There's a lot of fun stuff to do in Vegas besides just partying. And you can still go out on Saturday night and have fun. And so we do like a famous Saturday night out. So it's just a great end of the year deal to bring all the shakers and the movers of the industry together, and learn and network from one another, have some fun, listen to some speakers, throw back a couple cold beers, and go have some fun on Saturday, and then kick it off for another year.
Sounds like something I want to go to already, man.
Yep. But in the meantime, we got to train our people and grow our businesses. So let's get back in the world of reality here. All right, David, can you see my screen here?
Yeah, I see SVG University.
Good. This is the main training center page. You're going to see some blue buttons down here. You got a report card feature. You got a usage report feature. A place where you and your team can write notes on different courses or chapters you're watching. And I'm going to come back to some of this stuff and show you how to use it. It's very simple. It's very user-friendly. You have a file vault. Really, they have hundreds and hundreds of documents, discontinued shingle letters, tile letters, code-related issues, things that you need in estimating and supplementing, like overhead and profit letters that the customer signs, visuals at the door. I mean, all kind of change orders, all the kind of stuff that you see us use in these courses that we're about to watch, you can download in real time 24/7 from the virtual file vault. And a lot of guys love it for this feature. And just give you an example, it's just going to like discontinued letters. And we're always growing this stuff. Sometimes guys are always looking for discontinued shingle letters at the last minute. You can look up different ones, GF, Certainty, Owens Corning, and see if we have something you need here that can help you at that adjustment. Or maybe talking to a property owner about a product that's no longer made. As you know, in insurance claims, when these products are no longer made, sometimes the carrier is going to offer full replacement even when there's minimal damage. So having these things at your fingertips and having a training program that's teaching your folks how to use them is really what we call virtual training. We got the testing, the video courses, the access to the virtual file vault, all that stuff combined is why we call it virtual training, okay? So let's go into the main training center page and look at the nuts and bolts of this thing, and we'll come back to some of these bells and whistles down here, okay?
Sounds good.
I don't know, have you heard of my story, my crazy story in the industry, starting from my basement, going to 18 states?
I haven't.
Okay. Well, this program is a culmination of my 15 years of opening offices. I started as an industry salesman in 1998, knocking doors. Sold 3.2 million knocking doors as a salesman. My first full year in this business. Made around 400,000 sales commissions. Thought I was walking on water. kind of was that year. So I did real well in sales. About a year after, I became a sales manager. About a year after that, I became a Minnesota licensed general contractor. Started my basement, card table, 6 chairs, some literature, and 3 of my buddies. One of them was my business partner. Make a long story short, we went on to very high success in the industry. One of our first, second offices we opened, by their second office, we had hit, so almost our second year in the industry, I should say. Our first year, we're still figuring things out. The second year in the industry as owners, our office went from 0 to 25 million, which is a big jump. Big jump for your second year in the industry as an owner. And then we went on to open up, in 18 states over the next 14 years. And we had a thing down like an assembly line. McDonald's opens McDonald's restaurants pretty fast, as you know. It's a franchise, right?
Yeah.
It's because they got, there's 2 pickles on every burger. They know how to flip the burger. They're ordering their buns, their pickles from the same supplier, and they got the system figured out. They know exactly who to hire, the fry cook, what to pay them, when to hire them, how to train them. It's down to it's a science. McDonald's is a science, which is why they're so successful.
Yeah.
We pretty much applied that to opening up roofing and restoration companies. Okay, so everything from how do you hire and train a canvasser? What does their pay plan look like? What is their orientation? What does their interview look like? How do I interview them? What kind of interview questions do I use? How do I train them how to door knock? What is a door knock? How do I test them out on a door knock? What kind of visuals do they use at the door? So this is how we actually used to open our offices, except back then we didn't have virtual training. We had lots of training manuals, and we trained the heck out of people, and we trained the heck out of our managers to retrain others. And so all these positions you see off to the left, commercial marketing assistant, that's like a high-speed commercial canvasser. Your industry sales associate, probably this here has more courses than anybody, because there's so much stuff an industry sales associate needs to learn to become a $1 million producer and to maintain that over the years. Your sales coordinator recruiter. These are key positions that they didn't exist. We developed them. These are all the positions you would need to run a $20 million plus roofing restoration company. Because when we had certain offices that did that well, we had a few offices, actually one office location did 25 million over 1 year period. These are the key positions we had running at the office. Your office production manager, your sales manager, your accounts receivable department and manager, your sales processor. That's someone that sits and writes all the estimates and supplements for the salespeople so they don't have to. And you can maintain better profit margins in the company. So later on by our 4th or 5th year, we didn't know what that was. We developed it out of pain. How do we train that position? How do we pay them? How do we hire them? How do we recruit them? How do we train them to do this position? And so off to the left here, what we did is we constructed the university. There's your general manager. There's your field quality control inspector. Go manage the subs. There's your industry entrepreneur course. And of course, we have all of our old conferences and lunch and learns. You're talking about hours and hours, days of footage from speakers and breakout sessions. It's all in here as well. That's just kind of fun stuff to watch. That's not coursework.
Yeah.
So to give you an example of how the virtual training works, I want you to think about that testing in FileVault. Most guys, and I'm looking at your sheet here, on your contractor query sheet, that you had a real interest in recruiting and doubling or tripling the size of your sales team.
Yeah. So right now we're at 3 sales reps. We're just opening up a new office up in North Carolina, trying to figure things out. Don't really have much time to train these new sales reps that we have coming in. So looking for a solution to that.
Well, you and I both know that the next 10 guys you hire and train, which takes a lot of work, half of them are going to fall off within 30 days. So you just wasted a lot of time out in the field with those first half. And the other half's going to fall off within 3 to 6 months after that. And then you're going to be hiring another set of 10 guys, because you and I both know in this industry, we're always training, retraining, recruiting, hiring. And that's how we grow our business. Yeah. And this is how McDonald's builds their business. This is how the military wins wars. Is they're always in an influx stage of training, retraining, recruiting, and hiring. And that's what this program's all about, is your ability to dump new hires in here from the interview. We call it from the interview itself. So, David, what you're about to see is the first exposure that your new hire, new interview coming in has this industry, so we can explain the opportunity, and I don't want to I'll use the word sexiness of this industry, because, roofing construction is kind of a bad rep. It's kind of tough right now to recruit and hire, especially in this job market, right?
Yeah.
In the blue collar side of construction and roofing, let alone a 100% sales commission job. So We got to sell the industry. We got to sell the story. We got to sell the motivation. How much money's in it, and then we do the virtual interview. You with me?
Yeah.
First, we got to get them excited. Welcome to the SBGU Virtual Training System. 2017 global catastrophic industry was at $330 billion at the end of 2017. Contractors and other industry entrepreneurs in the United States and across the world are beginning to realize they need a specific set of tools in their arsenal to get more customers, increase their sales, help their communities rebuild, and make a lot of money. So I'm going to just go ahead and fast forward this, David.
Yeah.
You can watch this on your own, but basically it's a welcome to the industry video with all the stats, you know, all the information on catastrophes and why construction, restoration, and roofing is such a high opportunity, high profit opportunity and revenue, especially for sales commissions for salespeople. Now the next thing they're going to see is a sales story. They're going to say, well, how do we make money in this business? So I'm telling them my story. You know, at how I did 3.2 million my first year, and then there's a whole course later called the $1 Million Producer Course in here, where I say exactly all the things I did differently that year. That separated me from guys that were only doing 300 to 500K a year, and I did 3.2. What did I do that year? So it's called the $1 Million Producer Course. Okay. Hey guys, Anthony DeMedico, SVG founder and CEO. Welcome to the Phase 1 Sales Training segment. Some of you may be new sales associates, experienced sales associates, sales managers, and even some owners watching this right now. I started out like many of you are right now, knocking doors as a part-time sales associate in this industry in 1999 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I remember selling 3.2 million my first year selling and making over 400,000 in sales commissions. I remember selling one of my first big jobs, a cedar shingle roof, which was 164 squares, ended up being $120,000, where I received a $20,000 commission check. This was a life-changing experience for me. Quitting my W-2 wage-earning job and leaving a base salary of $60,000 per year to be an industry sales associate full-time. But I'm sure glad I did. I paid off my college debt, bought my first house in Minnetonka, Minnesota, a new SUV, and many other things. A lot of industry owners and salespeople ask me, how did you do that, man? How did you sell 3.2 million in one calendar year? Some companies don't even sell that. Here's some tips how I sold 3.2 million in one calendar year. Number one, set a financial goal and work like a maniac until you reach it. All right, David, so after they watch those two things, now they're ready for the actual interview. Now, remember that unique file vault I showed you?
Yeah.
Well, we want to have a couple things printed out. And you might have some of this kind of stuff at your office. Most guys aren't using interview questionnaires and stuff like that. But, you know, the better you are prepared for your group interview or interviews coming in, job description and duties, interview questions, when they know you're serious about the position and it's not some hack position job or some hack commission job, sales commission job, they're going to take you more seriously. So a lot of this is about their perception of you as a company and as an owner, about having a professional onboarding and virtual training system set up to recruit and hire them. And their perception of you, I mean, a lot of these younger guys are techie. Don't you agree?
They are.
A lot of young guys are tech, younger guys and girls, and they're into this kind of stuff. And you know, if you just come in and shoot the shit with them versus coming in and have like a virtual training onboarding thing, it's a night and day difference about how they perceive you as a company.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and let's go look in that file vault. And we're going to download the documents in real time that are associated with that new hire. We need to go into the sales. That's the sales orientation course. So if we just look down here, sales associate orientation. So that's the interview itself. We got interview questions, right? Okay. We got some nice sales associate job duties, and these here are certificates. So you remember all those positions on the left-hand side of the training center?
Yeah, I remember a few. Production
manager, all that. Every position's the same way. We have an onboarding and interview. From the interview itself, I don't care if it's a production manager, quality control inspector. We want to explain to that person, what does this position do on a day-to-day basis, right? How is this industry? How can I make a career out of it? It's the same for every position. So we're just picking on the sales one. So here we got the PDF as the interview questions, and these are things you or your sales manager or your sales coordinator, recruiter, or office manager. These are things they can just print out so you're ready to do that interview, or they can do them, or I can do them for you through the virtual world. You'll see that in a minute. Yeah, a lot of guys, they'll just put me on and press play. Let me do the interview. And then I walk them through the interview questionnaire, and they look at the point-based system to determine if there's a good fit between the candidate and the company. Okay?
So do these files come do I get access to this file vault when I sign up with SVG University?
Yeah, as soon as you enroll, you have access 24/7 to this. So this is your job description and duties form. You know, what is a sales associate? What are you going to learn in the next 90 days to become an effective industry sales associate? Man, some of these guys you might bring in were delivering Domino's Pizza last week. They've never knocked a door, but never been on a roof. I know, I get it, dude. That's the reality of business these days. Or they just got out of college. They don't know anything about construction. And this is what's out there for us to bring in, and you know, as the green beans, as we call them, new sales associates in the industry. So we have to train them down to the lowest level. Here's how you knock a door. Here's how you measure a roof. Here, all that stuff is in this virtual training, kind of in a chronological order. We're still in the interview area. So these are we call it the 3 phases of learning to become $1 million producer. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. You got your cold calling. These are all courses inside that I'm going to show you here in a minute. Cold calling and selling, how to conduct property and roof inspections, inking a deal. What is a deal? What's a continuous agreement? What's a service agreement? How do we use these things? This all takes time to train, don't you agree?
Yeah, I do.
Phase 2, meeting adjusters, scoping a project, creating a scope of work, formally contracting job, using a set of build contracts correctly. This all takes time. We call that phase 2. Phase 3 is your higher level stuff. This is where they're going to learn how to estimate and supplement, how to talk to desk adjusters on the phone correctly, how to submit certain supporting documentation. This is really higher level stuff. And then all the roofing systems, asphalt shingles, cedar shake, TPO, metal, tile, stone coated steel. We have the training courses for every roofing system in America, and they're going to eventually go through all that too. But it starts off with the basics, right?
Yeah.
Well, guys need to know that when they come in for an interview, you should have this stuff printed out. They need to know how are they going to be trained, what kind of position is this, and the videos help sell the story. You with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
So now that you know how to print all that out, I want to show you a couple other things. These diplomas, as cheesy as they are with a little tiger on them, those sales guys might get a big kick out of this. So when they finish phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 through the virtual training, you can print these out of the file vault, sign off on them, bring them up in front of the sales meeting, maybe give them a couple $100. I highly suggest tying the training into their pay plans. They're most of you guys are hiring 100% commission reps. Is that what you do?
Yeah.
What do you actually start your guys at on commission?
On commission right now, they're at 8%.
Okay. Start hiring them at 6 or 7%.
They're at 6 or 7.
I know that's low, and you should be topping them out at 10%. You know, if they hit $500,000 or $1 million, you might want to take that 8% up to 10. Eventually, they'd go somewhere else. Possibly even evolve into a gross profit pay plan down the road when they get really good, and they will once they use this program. But regardless of where you start, you should always go a couple points lower when you hire them, and then tie the increase in their pay to phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 into virtual training. Because now they're going home at night, and they're going to run through all these courses and try to test out on them how to knock the door, how to do all this stuff. Because they're going to go from 6 to 8%, or 8 to 9%, or 30% gross profit to 40% gross profit. If you tie it into the pay plan, you won't even have to monitor them in a virtual training. They're going to rush through it and learn. The high-speed ones will. And the idea is to save you 80% of your training time. You with me?
Yeah, I need that.
If we can save you 80% of your training time and train these guys how to be $1 million producers in 30, 60, 90 days, where normally it would take them 3, 6, 9 years to learn the same stuff, you're going to make a lot of money as a company owner.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go inside the training center and look at the next set of things. What's the most painful part of training salespeople?
You know, right now we are struggling with some door knocking. These sales reps, they're just not confident when they're walking up to someone's door and they start mumbling words. They aren't speaking clearly. They start stuttering.
If they don't, you're right. If they don't know if they don't know what to say at the door, they're probably not going to get on a roof, right?
Yeah.
Certainly not sign a deal. So we have a series in our selling cold calling. We have a series of door knocks, not just one. Your basic door knock, the art of prospecting, cold calling, 3 estimate Eddie. Remember that one guy that always asked for 3 estimates?
Yeah.
How to get around 3 estimate Eddie, grumpy go away Gus, how to dominate neighborhoods, cold calling monster cedar shake roofs, cold calling hurricane wind tile roofs or hurricane wind, selling Ludowici tile. So these are all different. You know, you got to change your pitch a little bit depending on if it's wind, hail. You know, so you got to really expose these guys to several different cold call situations. This first one here is one of the most basic because we really get into the kind of visuals and documentation they need to have at the door. Guys, okay, so we're here in a neighborhood in a post-storm environment. We're ready to start cold calling, infiltrating the neighborhood, dominating our space. Before we start cold calling and selling, let's make sure we're prepared with the proper uniform, the equipment, the tools, so we're going to be successful at knocking those doors. But we really get into how they should look at the door, how to use a door hanger, holding a clipboard, all the little things. Is your shirt tucked in? Do you have chalk? Do you have a little tool belt for your chalk and your equipment? Because the better perception they have of you at the door, obviously people are going to make their decision the first 30 seconds when they see you, whether they ever want to do business with you, right?
Hi, can I help you?
How you doing, ma'am? Anthony DeMedico, RFC Restoration.
Hi.
Hi, we're out here today doing free property and roof inspections from the hailstorm that hit last year on April.
Okay.
Have you guys been inspected from the storm?
I don't recall, so no, I don't think so.
Okay, well here's actually a storm tracker where the storm came through.
By the way, you see those storm track photos, those hill close-ups, the technical bulletins that I'm going to show her, explain why her warranty is negated. That's all in a file vault, back in a file vault, so you can download those as well.
Cool.
Yeah, so if we went back to the file vault by each course, you can download all these things, and that's one of the key things of virtual training is like when you see us using cool stuff in a virtual training, you can actually download that contract form or document and then start using it immediately yourself. You with me?
Nice, yeah.
Most of these videos are 5 to 7 minutes. Some go up to 10. We try to keep them short. We want your future sales associate or your new sales associate or your key manager or whomever's watching us to retain 3 good things from each video. Nobody can watch nobody's going to learn anything from a 3-day training course. They don't remember anything. Nobody's going to watch a 3-hour video these days. You got about 7 to 10 minutes to capture their attention. Can you remember 3 things? And then we move on to the next thing, which is the roof inspection. Then the next thing, which is signing a deal at the kitchen table. Then the next thing, which is filing the claim. And then meeting the adjuster out. So it's a chronological order of everything in short chapters with testing, okay?
Sometimes people are eating dinner. Sometimes they got other things going on. It might not be that important to them. But if you display the information correctly, relay the information correctly, and look presentable, you might get the chance to do that property inspection, which is going to lead to an inked deal. Now I'm going to get up on that roof, do that inspection, take some photos, and go back inside and hopefully ink the deal.
So that thing's over. That was about 6 minutes. A very thorough door knock, obviously. How to dress, how to talk at the door. Hopefully she let me on the roof. That's a good thing. So now we got 3 questions. There's 3 questions after each video. Now we're in the admin version. So as an owner admin or whoever your admin person is running this program at your office, you're going to get the cheat version. You can fast forward. You can go back and forth, watch different videos, but your salesmen and your managers cannot. They have to go in chronological order. They don't get the free answer. They can't go on to the next video until they get 100% on this one. So this is what we call forced training. They'll love you and hate you for it, but later on they'll become better, stronger, faster because of it, okay? So your number one... Yeah, so you'll notice a little time clocker there too. If I don't answer this by the time that time's done, it's going to clock me out, and I got to watch the whole video again. Because the idea is they just watch something. You want to make sure they retain it and test them, and not go run around with their kids or go eat dinner and come back. We're trying to teach them something, right? So the correct answer there was B. It's often helpful to drop names of nearby builds or other neighbors you recently inspected to improve your chance of getting a property inspection lined up. Well, look, you and I know that. We've been doing this for years. But your next new hire, your next 10 new hires, these are all the little tidbits and things, the little details that sometimes as owners, we assume people just know and they don't because we've been doing this so long. So it's all the details of all the little things where we're training them on that stuff so you don't have to. So now we got 3 correct answers. Now those weren't hard. Were those hard questions?
They're simple. They're pretty simple. I mean, it took away the key points in the video that we just watched, I believe.
Yeah, as long as you watch the video, you're going to be able to... My 12-year-old daughter can answer those 3 questions as long as she watches the video.
Too hard.
It's just designed to be quick and some data that they remembered. Now the next one is the 3 estimate Eddie rebuttal. That's kind of a funny one. But I want to show you this. I want to go back to that report card feature and show you, because I think this is a real important part of the training is the report card feature. It allows you to hold your guys accountable to learning. Mm-hmm. And that accountability is important when you can tie it into their pay plans. You got to tie the training to their pay plans. Meaning, look, man, if you don't get through like phase 1 in your first 2 weeks, or by next Friday, that's the first 3 or 4 major courses, I'm not giving you a draw, right? I might not even officially hire you if you don't do these. I'm not taking you out in the field on Saturday and running a lead or wasting a lead on you if you didn't get through phase 1, which is everything through the basics of how to scout and door knock and how to sign a deal and learn about the basic just cold calling sales aspect of this industry. So now you go in any of these courses, depending on what they watched, and see when they tested, do they get 100%, how many times they take it. Again, it's just based on 3 questions. And you have accountability to know that sales guy went through all these courses. Or that production manager went through all these courses. Whoever's in here, we're kind of picking on a sales deal right now. Okay, you saw the door knocking stuff. You want to see some property inspection stuff. We got a lot of detailed property inspections. We got estimate and supplement writing. What's some more stuff?
So right now, my sales associates, they are having some trouble right now. They don't really know what to do when it comes to the insurance paperwork. They don't really understand the insurance paperwork
okay.
at all.
Well, that's not an easy thing to teach. You know, they've got to learn how to knock doors. The next thing you know, they're crunching numbers on paperwork. They got to understand what ACV is, depreciation, RCB. It's complicated.
Yeah.
It's not that complicated, but it takes time. Especially you got 10 new guys running on. You got to train them all on the same thing. All these things take time. So you'd find that in our estimating and supplementing course. Mm-hmm. Let's head down there. It's also in phase 2. I have it in 2 areas because you actually brought up an important subject. You can find that in our phase 2 sales course as well. It's called Analyzing Insurance Paperwork. Because heck, before you send a guy out to pick up a check and pick out colors, if it's an insurance claim job, not retail,
Yeah.
he better know how to analyze insurance paperwork. He's going to pick up the wrong check or pick up the wrong amount, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at that one. That's here. It's again chronological order. How do I win the adjustment? When and how to use a public adjuster? How do I analyze insurance paperwork? How do I use a set of build contracts correctly? How do I manage deductibles appropriately and still not lose deals to the competition? How do I formally contract the job? So let's check out your analyze insurance paperwork. Then we'll take the test.
Welcome back. So we're ready to formally contract that job. We're back at the kitchen table. This is oftentimes we're going to see that first set of insurance approved paperwork. So let's go ahead and analyze some insurance paperwork so that you understand all the different variables. Let's take a look over here, guys. This is the first deck page. I got Jarvis on bass guitar over here scrolling through. Yep. You know how to work that bass? So guys, the deck page kind of explains the claim. If you want to go back up to the top here. You know, they have the right to select a contractor of their choice. Here's your payment. Here's your new ACV payment. Go ahead and scroll down there, Jarvis. So it's kind of a little information to that homeowner about what's going on. If you notice right here, depending on the complexity of your repair, our estimate may or may not include an allowance for general contractor overhead and profit. If you have questions regarding general contractor's overhead and profit and whether general contractor services are appropriate for loss, please contact your claim rep. So this is oftentimes where insurance company knows that a general contractor may be used, but it has to be proven by a general contractor. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. If we start here, let's look at our summary for coverages. If you want to scroll up, Jarvis. Okay, summary cut, line item total $11,573. This claim's actually got overhead and profit approved. We like overhead and profit. If we look at our depreciation, looks like our depreciation's at $4,500. We got less general contractor overhead and profit, $861. And our net actual value payment of $2,049. So that's our ACV check, actually a very low payment.
They're going to understand the basic ACV, depreciation, deductibles, and how to pick that thing apart and figure out what the contract price is and drop in the right price. And that's the whole idea. And of course, at the end, you get the 3 questions again. Okay, and again, every course is chronological order. So after we analyze insurance paperwork, what we should also be doing is eyeballing for stuff the insurance company missed, because you and I both know they always miss stuff, sometimes by mistake, sometimes on purpose. So let's go ahead and take our 3 questions. On the insurance paperwork, what is ACV? Well, it's actual cash value. And again, always remember, I know you know this stuff as an owner. You've been in the business for a while.
Yeah.
It's not about you. It's about alleviating that pain you're going to have of hiring the next 10 versions of you or mini versions of you or 100 versions of you down the road so you don't have to train them on all this little stuff. What does PWI stand for? Insurance paperwork, paid when incurred. Again, we're in the admin version. That's why we're getting a free answer. Your guys won't have access to that, so they've literally got to pay attention and pass this test, so they can't go on to the next chapter, which means they're not getting that raise, that promotion, that bump in commission, as long as you set it in the pay plan. You with me?
Yeah.
What does RCV stand for? That's a replacement cost value. So again, not hard, but I'm going to remember those things now later on.
Yeah.
And then you as an owner, again, I want to reiterate, this is all happening in real time. This is going on a report card. We have companies that are doubling and tripling because they're able to really dump in 10, 15, 20 guys at once, especially after a large storm. You got to train 10, 15 guys.
Yeah.
And they're getting rid of their dead weight. Meaning if the guys aren't training here and following protocol, why would you even hire them, right? Why would you give them a draw? And so the guys are using this to get rid of dead weight as much as they are focusing their attention on the guys that are training. And that's something owners couldn't do before in the industry. You with me?
Yeah.
And I think having a professional training program like this also makes your new hires take you more seriously as a company. Wouldn't you agree? A professional training program that's actually investing in them to test out and learn some of the best stuff in the industry. That took me 20 years. I'm still learning. When I go out in the field to shoot new courses, I bring entrepreneurs in different roofing systems that know a lot more than me, so I'm adding knowledge to this that I don't even have. And then we add 2 to 3 new courses every month. So you always get access to the new courses too.
Perfect.
What's another pain point you got? Let's see if I can find a pain point.
Yeah. Well, right now we're mostly residential. We're maybe thinking about trying to land some more commercial jobs right now.
Yeah. Most guys in the industry are, like I was, 80% residential, 20% commercial. A lot of them just bump into commercial by mistake, and they don't have a concerted effort or a concerted strategy to go after commercial business. It's kind of like, it's more luck than anything else. This is our commercial course, I should say our commercial area. So you got a commercial sales training course. This is a position you might want to think about if you're serious about getting some more commercial business.
Yeah.
You might want to understand this position that I put together several years ago in my own company. It's called a commercial marketing assistant. You can call it commercial marketing manager. It's basically a glorified canvasser that goes out and generates commercial leads for you and your company. It's a different type of position than normal like a canvassing position. It's a 9 to 5. I think females do better at this job because most property managers are women.
Yeah.
I think that she should wear business casual, or he should wear business casual and not wear a polo and khaki shorts, because property managers are tired of those vendors walking in, hitting them up for stuff. You're just another vendor. Come in with some business casual, you get some respect. And so we call it a commercial marketing assistant. What do I pay her? What's her hiring plan? What's her recruiting ad? What's her pay plan look like? All that stuff's on the contractor store page, by the way. We have all the pay plans, key positions, all like this. But what does that interview look like? What does she do on a day-to-day basis? This is all in her orientation. And what courses does she need to watch in our commercial sales training area? Or anybody that wants to sell commercial, not just this position. That's all in this course right here, okay? But I want to just explain it because, again, every position has its own unique interview, its own unique interview questions, its own unique job duties, and we have all that in a file vault to support each position, not just sales, okay? Welcome back, commercial marketing assistant. Or are you a commercial marketing manager? I suppose if you become really good at your job, you can get the manager title. Let's go over what a CMA, I like to call it a CMA. Let's go over what a CMA does on a day-to-day basis to develop, hopefully, a whole lot of commercial leads and business down the road. The CMA position description. By the way, that whole job duty pack, as you know, is back in the file vault. You can print that out, and then I basically walk them through it step by step as to what this job does on a day-to-day basis, okay? The CMA will also possibly be using some of the tools available in the SVG Commercial Sales Training System. That's the SVG Commercial Contingency Agreement, the SVG Commercial Monitoring and Service Agreement. And what I'm going over here is, special contracts. If you're serious about selling commercial rather than running it by mistake, you're going to need a certain set of commercial contracts and forms that you're not using in residential. And we supply that on the contractor store page. So again, you're seeing a reference to this in the virtual training. Commercial contingency agreements are different than residential. Different set of rules. They don't follow home improvement laws. Like commercial doesn't have to follow home improvement or residential home improvement laws. It's business to business. You got commercial construction agreements, commercial build retail contracts, commercial service and monitoring agreements. We have all that in the SVG contractor store page, and then we brand that up for you guys to use. And you guys get a nice discount on all that stuff a la carte as an SVGU virtual client, okay? But you're seeing a reference to this stuff because if you're serious about selling commercial, you have to have the right, it's like building a house. If you don't have the right foundation, your house is going to fall. If you don't have the right contracts to sell residential, commercial, or anything, your house is going to fall down too. And I see that happen a lot. They don't have the right base set of contracts, and SVG provides it as well. You get a little training on this in each of the different areas. And then how does this commercial marketing assistant use all that stuff to help you generate leads? And that's what this is all about, is giving her the tools.
Commercial blitz.
What does she use every day out there when she's cold calling or following up on leads and do it? What is she using to generate commercial interest in your company? Those are the forms that some of that we provide in the file vault, and some of that's on our contractor store page, and then we talk about all that. And then what does she do on a day-to-day basis? This position can bring a lot of money into your company in terms of commercial leads. It'll well pay off its return on investment. That's an important position. If you're serious about commercial, I don't know if you're that serious about it, that's an important position to hire and train and get out, as a face of your company in all those commercial deals, especially after a new storm. So what does she train on? And by the way, any sales guy can watch this training. It's not just a commercial marketing assistant. You might have sales guys that want to go after commercial too. What's all the different things? I how do we sell property management companies and HOAs? How is that different than residential? You know what I mean?
This core.
So this is a whole breakdown of selling HOAs, the commercial sales blitz, how to get commercial leads without paying for them, landing a property inspection, a condo association, how to deal with condo associations, just a lot of good stuff. Selling the HOA, property management company. This one we actually, we even zoom in and meet with HOA presidents in the virtual training, and they tell us how to sell them. Check this out.
And we got some large. This is a town. Is this a townhome association or a condo association?
Yes, it's a townhome association. There's 98 units. There's 54 buildings.
Okay, so you help manage. You're the owner of the property management company.
Correct.
And you help manage the units and refer vendors and deal with the vendors and all that kinds of stuff.
That's correct. Deal with the grounds.
Toilet overflows. Your company's getting a call.
Well, not on the inside, but yeah, if it affects the outside or the buildings at all, I get a call.
Okay, and have you ever been through a hailstorm before as a property manager in a facility this size?
No, this is actually my first.
New experience. And guys, these look like medium cedar shake roofs behind us.
Yep.
How many squares are we talking about here?
It's several thousand.
And what's the ticket? What's the I should say the claim value on this claim? Because I know you recently assessed it and got it approved.
It's gonna be roughly between 3.5 and 4 million.
$3.5 and $4 million. Now, Kevin, obviously that contractor didn't work out. They disappeared. I don't know if they're a fly-by-night company or whatnot. So now you're in a situation where you had a public adjuster assess your claim, and now you're taking bids from contractors because that guy's long gone, you said, correct?
Correct, yes. After 2 years, his company actually went under, and so we're looking at different contractors, and we're going to bid out and see. They're going to interview, do a process. Of course, they're not going to just look at the cheapest number. They're going to actually
Right.
look for the quality.
Well, I'll bet some guys watching this would love to get a $3 million cedar shake deal. Now you're going back to, you mentioned earlier, going back to a tile roofing system.
Yes, they're looking at bar tile, so a large, thick tile, double batten system, and gutter replacement, gutter and downspout throughout the entire community.
And primarily because in Colorado, people don't like to go back with cedar.
Right.
People in Minnesota and Illinois, they love their cedar roofs, but out here you got the fire hazards.
Correct. We have people who like cedar, but the municipalities don't prefer it.
Permitting and stuff like that. So let's talk for the guys watching this right now, because you're the guy they all want to get a hold of.
Of course.
After a storm, they're trying to, hey, who's in charge of that building? How do I find them? What's the decision-making process? And how do I get this deal closed? I think the guys watching this right now, they could really benefit from that experience. So so you're the owner of the property management company, correct?
Correct.
So if a guy approaches this property after a storm, how would he find you to give you the sales pitch?
Well, depending on the property, some properties have signs up to where they give meeting minutes and meeting dates, and they'll have the property manager's information.
Or like managed by so-and-so outside the building?
Perfect. Right, yeah, it's right on the building. You can find it easily that way. If there is properties that don't have it, similar to this one that does not have a kiosk or anywhere posted, at least in Colorado, there's DORA, which is the Division of Regulatory Agencies.
DORA, remember DORA.
And what they do is they compile lists, and all homeowners associations are required by DORA and the state to register on an annual basis, and you have to update your current
Property
agent.
management company?
Well, it doesn't. It's the agent, the contact agent.
Okay.
So it could be self-managed property, management company property, but someone's name and contact information has to be
But
registered.
typically, if it's managed by a property such as yours, would your contact information be listed on the DORA?
It would, yes.
And where would a guy find this? Would they Google DORA Colorado, or is it a report they find? Or
You want to do DORA Colorado, because if you just do DORA, you get DORA the Explorer, and I don't think anyone wants that. But if you DORA Colorado, it'll.
they
pop
want the
up.
$3 million claim DORA.
It'll come up as DORA Colorado. It's and you go on there, and it'll
And you'd
show
look
you
up this property name. This is what is the name of
Peninsula
this?
Homeowners Association.
And then you would do a search, and you'd eventually find the property management company.
Correct.
And if that salesperson or company called you, set up an inspection, talk to us about what happens after that, as far as, because I know you got committees here, you got a homeowners association. What are the decision-making process to get a deal like this closed?
Well, the process would start with, of course, contacting the manager, giving him your pitch. If you sell it to the manager would
Which
then-
is you.
Which is me.
Yep.
And so if you make me happy, basically, I would then
Do
either
we bring a
go-
motorcycle in, or
if you want to.
just kidding, guys? Don't do that.
But I would then take it to the process that I know. And at certain communities, it changes. Sometimes you bring it to the board. Sometimes you bring it to a committee. And at this association, I brought it to a roofing committee who then made a recommendation to the board. And then the board made the final decision. The board will always make the final decision, but there may be a couple steps to go through. Or you can go directly, the manager will go directly to the board.
Now, for you guys watching this, when he says board, this is not some board out in Texas or California made up of REITs and stuff. This is a board made up of unit owners,
Correct.
that actually live, that bought units here on a property,
They're
that
volunteer owners of the community.
volunteer owners. You got a president, you probably got different titles for the board, correct? And they all live in the units here. So they have a vested interest in making sure this property gets repaired back to pre-storm condition. Sometimes it's easier, I think, because I used to sell townhome associations too, to get a hold, to sell those townhome associations, those boards, than it is to sell a large REIT or an apartment complex, which can be a huge long sales cycle. Whereas here, the decision makers actually live in the units.
Oh, exactly.
In fact, I'll tell you
Well, and
quick.
they're directly affected by the damage.
Directly affected. They could have the leaky roof. In fact, one of the little tricks I used to do is I'd roll in and I'd find a friendly neighbor out mowing their lawn or something and say, hey, do you know where the president of the association lives? I need to chat with him about a unit in here. Oh yeah, he's over in 456. Ask for Fred. I'd go knock on that door and I'd create an immediate relationship with that president of the association, because that's ultimately who's leading that board and part of the decision-making process. And then also the property management company as well.
So David, I know you're short on time here. This is a demo,
Yeah.
but I think you get the idea. I mean, we basically zoom in. These aren't just boardroom course shoots about admin type stuff, but we're zooming into real field situations with contractors and public adjusters, even property owners. And in this
Yeah.
case, we met with the property owner of the property management company, and he's explaining step by step how to sell him and how to sell the HOA board. And just valuable information, how to access DORA and all that good stuff. That's just one chapter in our commercial course.
Where you mentioned earlier something about commercial contingency agreements and
In this
commercial
course?
service agreements and contractors.
Yes.
Or what is that all about? Where
Okay.
can I find that?
Yeah, let me take you, if you see something, we have a lot of stuff in the SVGU file vault itself.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we can't put proprietary contracts in there because we have to have you sign legal releases to get those. We put your logo on them. So our real, our Bentley stuff, like our real proprietary contracts, forms, documents, our hiring agreements, our proprietary pay plans, you'll find those on the store page and not in the file vault for many reasons. One is you don't want your staff and employees to have access to that kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then two, something that's confidential. And then two is we actually have to have you sign a release, and then we brand those up. So if you look at the top here, you should see a tab for the store button. That's our contractor store.
Okay.
And anything you could ever think of needing, like an estimating program, a contract. This is like LegalZoom for the contractor. We have a la carte contracts, AOCs, AOBs, build contracts. Again, we get your logo, brand them all up. There's usually a CTA video with each product, so you can learn about what it is if you don't know. Like what is an AOB, what's an AOC, what is a set of build contracts, what should they look like, because a lot of guys are using the wrong set of build contracts. There's a short CTA video for each product that we sell on our shop page. Through the insurance adjustment, you'll have, and we go through each thing, and why is ours different? Why do we believe ours is better? And you can make your own judgment on that stuff. What you were asking about is a commercial contingency agreement. That's right here. That's a different agreement than your residential contingency agreement, as it should be. It's it's not a residential deal, and so that's just a la carte. Again, we brand those up. But you can find all that kind of stuff, pretty much anything you need, any contract, any hiring form, key positions, recruiting ads, pay plans, real proprietary pay plans that took me 15 years to develop. This is like your entire HR department. Sales associate, quality control inspector. Now you're already getting the virtual training to train all these people, right? You might as well get the proprietary hiring agreements, pay plans, and stuff to go with them. It took me 15 years to figure out. Unfortunately, we don't put those in a file vault. A, they're too valuable. B, I don't think you want your people looking at everybody's pay plans. So those are kind of proprietary for the owner. You with me?
Yeah.
And then we have our basic systems. Phase 1 sales training, phase 2, that's your entire sales department. That's all your contingency service agreements branded up. You want the whole system. And, training manuals, visuals, hiring agreements for your field trainer, sales associate, sales coordinator, recruiting ads, 1099 hiring agreements, W-2 hiring agreements, all that stuff you need in your sales department, pipeline reports, PowerPoint trainings on hail and wind, all that kind of stuff, goal setting workshops. It's the stuff that you need to have in your sales department. Even comes with a war room poster. So we have all that stuff is on our contractor store page. That's kind of our flagship proprietary products. And our virtual trainings, like the professor that trains you on how to use all that stuff. So
it seems like everything's very comprehensive. Seems like there's a lot of information on here.
Yeah, any other questions on a virtual training?
So the file vault and the contractor store are two separate things, correct?
Yeah, the file vault is stuff that we feel can be handed out with no legal repercussions. You know, we don't want to put legal contracts in here. But let's say you run, so the file vault's got lots of great stuff in it you can use that you'll see us using in courses, that you want to have access to. Let's say you run across let's go into the commercial sales training system because we were kind of in there for a minute. We do put some goodies in here like the commercial marketing assistant pack, the commercial sales training manual, a template. These are all templates, mind you, they're not branded. A commercial inspection letter. So that you have some templates of stuff that you can use because we're showing you how to use some of this stuff in training, right?
Yeah.
And we want you to have access to some of that so you're not recreating a wheel. But if you want the real professional branded up stuff with your logo, then you go to the store page. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So these are all templates. The store page has real professional, a lot more quality stuff and proprietary contracts. If you ever take the human resource course, I mean, you talk about, this has a lot of great stuff in it. Termination agreements, your sub-IC agreements, your subcontractor agreements, your worksheet, how do you terminate someone, your employment offer letters, even as an employment handbook. So a lot of guys don't have an employment handbook in their office. Heck, I never did for 15 years, right? You can download an entire template of what an FLSA approved employment handbook looks like for your company. Of course, you might want to add stuff to it. This is a great template. You print out, now you have an employee handbook of your company and why you should have one. So all that kind of training is in the HR course, which you may not use right away, but it's in there for you. So the file vault has just a lot of great stuff that goes with the training that you see in a virtual training. In your contractor store page is the branded professional stuff up that you want, primarily proprietary contracts, pay plans, and stuff like that.
Wow. Okay. Nice. So, all right. So I think I'm starting to get it. So SVG is subscription based, and then the contractor store is going to be separate. What do you have anything that would help me out? I mean, I have 3 sales reps. I want to train them in. I'm looking to hire some more people in. What do you think would be?
So we have a 1 user program, $199 a month. You'll notice the next price break there is a 5 user program.
Mm-hmm.
That's $599 a month. That's our most popular, 5 users. Now you can train 5 people simultaneously 24/7 and get the report cards. You'll notice there's a price drop there. It goes to $120 a month per user.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and then at 10 users is another price drop there. You see that $99 a month at 10 users?
Mm-hmm.
And then we have another price drop at 15 users. Okay?
Okay.
So at 15 users, down to $79 a month per user. So for you, if you got 3 people now and yourself, you definitely want to hire some more guys. And so we want to get you to, we probably want to get you at the 5 user rate.
Yeah.
That's $599 a month. That's what about 80% of the industry's on right now that are contractors using our program. And oftentimes they call us back after 3 months. Hey man, I need 10 users. Can you cut me a deal? Or I need 20 users. I mean, people that use our program tend to grow. They want to start hiring and filling these unique positions that we're teaching them about because they want to become a $20 million plus roofing restoration company. So the idea is to scale and add more users. 5 users is a great thing to start off with. That also comes with 1 free ticket to the Wind and Storm Conference. That's why I showed you that.
Yeah.
It's a $750 value. And then we also do so you get 20% off all of our branded contractor store products. Those are the branded products I showed you in the contractor store page. That's a nice package. A lot of guys use that one. Will that work for you?
Yeah, I'm thinking, and then at one point, maybe if I start growing, and maybe let's say I jump from 3 sales reps to about 7. Is there a possibility I might upgrade to the 10 user package or 15 user? Is that a possibility?
Yeah. All you gotta do is call the office. We would basically do a contract change order to the 10 users, come up with the new price. If you went to 10, it's $9.99 a month.
Yeah.
Now you're down to $99 a month per user.
Yeah.
And we can train 10 people simultaneously, and then we do a contract change that day. We can help you to 10 users, and you can add or delete your new emails or your new users into the system.
All right. So if I sign up for the 5 users right now today, and I do the $5.99 a month, I'll get that 1 free ticket for Wind and Storm conference, as you mentioned, and then I'll 24/7 access to SVG University for 5 users.
That's correct for the remainder of the year. And I'll even make it better for you. If you do the deal today, I'll let you, because I want you to experience our contractor store page. I think you really like some of our branded products too. I'll let you pick one, I don't care which one it is, one contractor form off of our contracts and forms section. So you can kind of experience, we'll brand that up. That's free of charge if you do the deal today. You know, if you need a set of build contracts, a contingency, a service, maybe you need a commercial contract, whatever. I want you to experience the professional quality of our, pretty much like our LegalZoom department for contract. We brand it up. A lot of guys really enjoy that. I'll throw one of those in for free if you do the deal today.
All right. You know what? I mean, I feel like you're really giving me a good deal right here. I'm gonna have to take a look at the contractor store myself, and I'll just have to reach out to you after that, let you know what you're gonna decide on. But I mean, I guess I'm ready for those 5 years, and I'm ready to take my company to the next level. And I feel like you have what you offer what it has to.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we can onboard you if you sign up right now. We can get you onboard the virtual training today. I'll put the credit in the system for anything you want off the contractor store page. You can call tomorrow and figure out which one you want. That way you get it in. You and your guys can start using the virtual training tonight.
Yeah. You know what? Let's do it.